1915, leaders of the Turkish government set in motion a plan to expel and massacre Armenians living in the Ottoman Empire. When the massacres and deportations finally ended, some 1.5 million of Turkey's Armenians were dead, with many more forcibly removed from the country. Historians call this event a genocide, a premeditated and systematic campaign to exterminate an entire people. However, the Turkish government does not acknowledge the enormity or the scope of these events. To this day, it is still illegal in Turkey to talk about what happened to Armenians during this era. On April 24, 1915, the Armenian Genocide began. That day, the Turkish government arrested and executed several hundred Armenian intellectuals. After that, ordinary Armenians were turned out of their homes and sent on death marches throughout the Mesopotamian desert without food or water. Frequently, the marchers were stripped naked and forced to walk under the scorching sun until they dropped dead. People who stopped to rest were shot. In 1914, the Turks entered World War I, and at the same time, Ottoman religious authorities declared jihad, or holy war, against all Christians except their allies. Military leaders began to argue that the Armenians were traitors, and if the allies were to be victorious, the Armenians would join in the fight. Along with general Turkish suspicion of the Armenians, the Turkish government pushed for their removal. In response to large-scale protests by Armenians, Turkish military officials, soldiers, and ordinary men sacked Armenian villages and cities and massacred their citizens. Hundreds of thousands of Armenians were murdered. The total Armenian population living worldwide is estimated to be 11 million. Of those, approximately 3 million live in Armenia and approximately 7 million in diaspora, with the largest population in Russia and the United States, Los Angeles being the most concentrated in the U.S. with about 300,000 people. The Armenian diasporic community recreates homes in their destination countries through means such as enclaves, monuments, art, and through other various forms of culture productions. AGBU is a non-profit Armenian organization established in Cairo, Egypt. It promotes the Armenian identity and heritage through cultural, educational, and humanitarian programs, annually serving Armenians in 35 countries. The Homen Games take place in Armenia and are played by hundreds of Homen's youth from around the world to assemble, to meet, compete, and strengthen their Armenian spirit and identity. The Armenian and Filipino diasporas are among the largest groups of communities scattered throughout the world, outside of their homelands. Despite their commonly shared tragic histories of war, genocide, and overall injustices, both the Armenian and Filipinos in past time and today have recreated homes through culture production, means such as enclaves, monuments, memorials, murals, and organizations that have helped develop them in significantly different ways within the constraints and opportunities found in varied host cultures and countries. Thanks through these culture productions, Armenians and Filipinos of diasporas have successfully continued to live their lives with awareness of their culture, ethnicity, history, and most importantly, identity. I should like to see any power of the world destroy this race. This small tribe of unimportant people, whose wars have all been fought and lost, whose structures have crumbled, literature is unread, music is unheard, and prayers are no more answered. Go ahead, destroy Armenia. See if you can do it. Send them in the desert without bread or water. Burn their homes and churches. Then see if they will not laugh, sing, and pray again. For when two of them meet anywhere in the world, see if they will not create a new Armenia.